Hi, I am Angel Ribo with Mindalia TV, and we have Lori Spagna with us today. Hi Lori, how are you?
Hi Angel, I'm great. Thank you for having me today.
Absolutely.
I'm so excited about our time together.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Let's have fun together.
Yes.
Okay, let me ask you first, what is that particular thing that has you more passionate?
Oh my goodness, I am so passionate right now about the awakening of humanity and the shift of consciousness that's happening here right now, because we're all waking up and we're coming into our greatness, our lightness, and we're activating and awakening those dormant parts of us that really align with these frequencies of divine love, peace, joy, happiness, oneness, fulfillment, and the greater good of all beings with harm to none. Isn't that fabulous?
Oh yeah, it is.
And also for animals too. And I'm so excited about that.
Oh, tell me more about this animals part.
Well, the animals are actually playing a major role in our awakening process. And we don't always think of it. We don't always realize it. But actually, they have quite an agenda too, to help us to awaken. So sometimes what they do, I always call animals the ultimate empaths, because they feel and sense everything, but they don't have to make sense of it in their logical mind like we do. So they feel and sense what's around them, and then their right brain immediately knows it. They know. So when we come home in our house and our animals are just waiting for us, and we've been maybe feeling stress or anxiety or worry or doubt or whatever, the animal feels it. And what they do is they take it on, and they might demonstrate it. It could even turn into an illness, but the idea is to help us to heal, to resolve those, whatever those issues are. So in this way, they're helping us and they're serving us, and they know it. And actually, if I could say a little more on this?
Of course.
Okay. The animals who are in nature or in the wild, they also have agendas. So for example, whales and dolphins, they know that they are helping to heal the waters. They know that they're using that echolocation, that high-pitched songs, and they know that that's elevating the frequency and the vibration of the waters that keep the waters clean for us. Like elephants, I'll stop after this one, but every group of animals, they all have agendas to help us. So the elephants, who are the great matriarchs, right? They're the matriarchal society with those big brains. They're storing up the records of the history, the true history of humanity. And so if you communicate telepathically with an elephant, you can find out all kinds of information about our history, our true history. And they carry that divine feminine energy that's awakening right now on planet Earth. And they'll never lie to us. They'll always tell us the truth. So it's not like someone telling us a lie about our history or giving us false information. They'll really help us to know our true ancestry. So that's something that the elephants do. Each animal kingdom has an agenda. Isn't that interesting?
Oh, very interesting. I was going to ask you, how can we communicate with them? I mean, obviously you're talking about telepathically, but
Yes.
not everybody has the ability to do that. Is there any sign that animals, continuously try to communicate with us in a certain way, and maybe we don't always are there to listen to them?
Yes, you're exactly right. We're not always listening. But we do all have the ability within us, but we have to awaken it. We have to activate it. And that means we have to clear certain things from our energy field. That means we sometimes have to decalcify our pineal gland and our pituitary gland, which those get calcified from like genetically modified foods and chemtrails in the sky and fluoride in the water, eating artificial food. But we can decalcify that and open those master glands up, which allows us to practice telepathy. And of course we have to learn how, and we have to activate other parts of our dormant potential. Like we have to start living from our heart center and really exchanging information from that magnetic center. But we all can do it. We really can. We have to learn how. And it's really not even learning. It's more like we're remembering, because it's within us.
So I am understanding that the pineal gland plays a key role.
Yes.
In our connection with, let's say, with the universe,
Yes.
to put it this way. How can we do that?
Well, okay, so think about this. In the back of our brain, sort of like right behind, in the center back of our brain, within the center of the brain, there's something called the cave of Brahman. this cave, which is like a hollow, empty space within the brain, it's not the
Hollow?
brain. It's not the brain is not hollow, but it's within that space where
Yeah.
the base of the brain reaches the spinal cord. Within there, that's where you have your pineal gland, we all have that, and our pituitary gland. These are master glands. These glands, yes, they can be decalcified, and they are the brain. That's where we see from, actually. We don't see with our eyes. Our eyes are filters, lenses. We see with our brain. We don't hear with our ears. Those are tunnels, channels. We hear with our brain. So as we activate and awaken these master glands within our brain, then we become more psychic. We become more intuitive. We are able to practice telepathy. We're able to communicate with other living beings, certainly angels, animals, one another, benevolent ancestors who may have crossed over, or spirit guides, or our own higher self, our own higher consciousness communicates that way. So, yes,
Is
you're
there
right.
is it easy for anybody, like, to try to decalcify their pineal glands?
It is easy, but it's not fast.
Okay.
So it can be fast, but it typically, we're kind of like from this society, like take a pill and everything will be better. Like, let's just fix this headache fast, or let's just take a pill. And it doesn't quite work that way. We do have to actively participate in breath work, certain forms of breath work, certain forms of meditation and intention, and also, of course, working with other like frequencies of light and sound will help with that, and of course eliminating these toxic substances from what we intake in our body that we mentioned earlier.
Okay.
So all of that practice decalcifies and awakens those glands, and through that practice, but it is a practice.
It is a practice.
Yes.
Let's go back to the animals. I mean, when you talk about the natural kingdom, besides animals, can we also talk about plants?
Yes. Yes. So we would never like really think that, but the plants have consciousness, and there's consciousness in everything. There's nowhere and nothing where consciousness does not exist. So of course we can connect with plants, and I would invite people to just, when you walk down the street, just practice listening or hearing what's available just by connecting with plants, because they typically will say things like, plants will typically say things like, rest your forehead on me, let me take your stress from you. Like, trees say that. Or like the granite, I've had granite people say to me, lay your bones on me, like big, huge granite, boulders, lay your bones on me and I will take away all that pain in your body. It's amazing. They are conscious. Consciousness. Yes. Consciousness exists in everything. So it's up to us to awaken that within ourselves and to be better receptors, receivers, allowers, because if we open to receive it and to just let it in, it's so fabulous and fantastic what's available to us. It's so
we definitely perceive
exciting.
your excitement, your passion. What would you say, when you're trying to, every day that you go to sleep, every night that you go to sleep, and you think about the following day, the next day, what's typically your intention?
Oh, I love this. So I always feel like it's a really good thing to finish off the day by wrapping up. Gratitude lists are wonderful, right? Just taking an inventory. And if there's anywhere where you felt like, for me personally, if there's anywhere I felt like maybe that wasn't as in the highest of, love or light, I might bless the experience. Like, I bless you. I might use a little ho'opono, just to say, like, thank you for that experience or that lesson or that learning. I'm grateful. I might do some cleanup of some energy. I might also ask or intend for how I want to sleep or spend my sleep time. Like, I typically command sovereignty and liberation over my dream space and my dream time, so that nothing unpleasant can interact with me. So I command my own dream space. And I might also set some intentions for how I'll wake up in the morning. I typically will do that. So I intend to wake up peaceful, happy, rested, fulfilled. I also do a lot of times when I go to sleep, okay, this is really out there, but I will intend for an energetic protection field around my bed and my sleep space, so that I'm I'll even intend that I'm age regressing in my sleep, or clearing off any and all aging programs, and that I'm activating and awakening my dormant potential even in the sleep state. And I always say, in the highest and best ways, only as is for my highest and best good, with harm to none. And we can all do that. It's easy, right?
What's your communication strategy? Talking about business now, what's your communication strategy? How do you communicate to the world? How do you help people, Lori?
Well, actually, how I communicate, if you're talking about business, how I communicate, like I do a lot of Facebook. Is that what you mean?
Yeah,
I do social media, and I do YouTube, and I do a newsletter, and I just share this whole process of awakening, because we're all coming out of this. It's within us all. So I think it's really wonderful right now when we share personal, like just sharing my experience with people, and helping to share also what I'm receiving with the non-physical world. Because actually this non-physical world that we have never believed or perceived in, these benevolent angels and divine beings and star beings, star family races, they're so available to us, but we never gave them that kind of credit. So I translate a lot of that for people. Like, this is what I'm getting from the non-physical. This is what I understand. This is what I'm sharing. And I just share it wherever I can, like out of love, out of service. Because at a certain point, we realize that's where the greatest joy comes from, right?
Exactly.
Sharing out of just sharing the joy for the joy of sharing. It's just for the joy of being of service.
And how do you define awakening?
Awakening?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, what I say about that is, it's so deeply personal to each of us. It's so deeply personal. So if I were to tell you, some of my personal experiences, I could never, I don't think I could effectively communicate the depth and the richness of how I personally experienced it, because it was so uniquely mine. And for your unique awakening experience, you've had those profound experiences, right, Angel, that are so profound for you, and you could try to communicate them, but you could never really fully communicate the depth and the richness, because it's so uniquely personal to you. It's between you and your divinity, your divine source, your connection with that divine creator of infinite love and infinite light. And right, so what is everyone's awakening? It's unique, it's personal. But what we know is, once we have it, nothing and no one can ever take it from us. No one can say it's ridiculous. No one can say it didn't happen, because you know your experience. So to me, that's our awakening process, as we come into alignment with that divinity within us, within everyone. Yeah.
And how do you, when you help, obviously everybody has a different way to awaken, right, to the universe, to their higher selves. How do you help different people that have different needs, that come from different avenues? How do you deal with that diversity?
Yes. Well, usually what I do is, I'm always, my first question whenever I'm interacting with someone in that way to, assist in their awakening, my first question is always to Source, Creator, God. What is it that how am I meant to serve in this now moment? What is it is there anything I can do? And if so, in this now moment, what would that be? How would you, Divine Source, Creator, God, Source, clearest, purest, divine Source, how would you guide me in this moment that I may be of service to this person? So from then, I'm going to hear something, I'm being told something, I'm being guided in some way. Clear this, heal this, guide this, just allow them to have their space. Sometimes it's nothing, just allow. Sometimes it's offer a blessing. Sometimes it's some kind of words. It's typically, though, some kind of healing. So in that moment, I'll be listening, because I'm very auditory, but I do I see things too. I'm visual, and I'll be usually guided. Clear that from them, change that belief, pull out that programming in their unconscious mind, realign them with source consciousness on this particular issue, that kind of thing. Sometimes it's the animals. Sometimes the animals will say, my human needs this, please tell my human this. And here's when it gets really interesting, Angel. Sometimes it's their high self, or even their oversoul, like their soul. So in some cases, the soul is like, please communicate this to get me more fully into their embodiment. And that's pretty cool too.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would like to finish this conversation, so inspiring. Would you please try to give a piece of advice to our audience? They're everywhere in the world, so they will be really thrilled to listen from you and your wisdom.
I just want to invite everybody to remember the highest truth. The highest truth is that we are all individual aspects of Creator, the divine, of infinite love, infinite light, infinite peace, infinite wisdom. What is that? We don't even know. We're awakening to that within us. There's no one and nothing that is not that. Everything. So the more we can just allow that to awaken within us and align our intention with, this is a really good one. What is, if each and every one of us could ask this question, what is the highest and best possible life journey for this particular life that I am living? What is the highest and best and most benevolent path, journey, process, lifetime? What is the highest and best and most benevolent experience? And if we are asking the divine source of intelligence and the universe, the quantum field, that question without trying to answer it, just asking, let that manifest and materialize in my reality. We are going to wake up so much beautiful potential for ourselves and all beings involved, because we're sharing it.
Excellent.
We're sharing our reality. Yes.
I'm sure our audience will be extremely grateful for that piece of advice. Thank you very much, and thank you for being here with us today, Lori.
Thank you, Angel.
Again, this is Angel Ribo with Mindalia TV. Thank you very much for being with us today.